me that speak to you, seated here, was one of the greatest critics of Jonathan's presidency and the way at that time he handled matters. I didn't know that God will disgrace me to show me that Jonathan was even a saint and a better administrator than those that follow him. First, as a third world leader, the insecurity reached its highest level some few days to election. And Jonathan suspended the election, put off the election, and took another 6 weeks and brought mercenaries. If this government today has that opportunity of chaos, 1 or 2 weeks to election, they will allow it to continue so that they can write figures and announce themselves as winners. But Jonathan stopped that election, and he knew for sure that if there was a free and fair election, no incumbent government can get second term. He's an educated man with PhD. He knows that. But because of his humane nature, he postponed the election for 6 weeks, brought in mercenaries, and within 6 weeks, those mercenaries stabilized Nigeria, and there was no polling booth in Nigeria that elections did not take place. So, even from your enemy, in fact, you learn more from your enemy. If Jonathan has done that time, 2015, what stops this government from copying what Jonathan has done? After all, hiring mercenaries to deal with this insurgency and other pockets of banditry across the country costs less than 10% of what the military takes today. So economically, it is better to hire the mercenaries, give them contract, secure this area, we will pay you this, and you fold your arms. And it is done. The credit goes to you. So why can't Nigerian leaders be patriotic citizens of our country?
Should Nigeria not resort to hiring mercenaries and specialist forces to fight these insecurities just like the Russians are doing right now? After all, there are companies out there who offer services like this. And if you check most of these war on terror by United States, they've used specialist forces all over the country, all over the world to fight terrorism like this. So in the case of Nigeria, isn't it about time for Nigerian government to consider the fact that they can use mercenaries, or has Bola Tinubu made a compromise? Is the government fully compromised right now that they cannot make such call in order to deal with this terror that is plaguing Nigeria and hire foreign specialist forces that can actually help combat this terrorism in our country? If Jonathan did it, why can't Bola Tinubu do it? Listen, you want to ask this question. What is actually stopping Bola Tinubu from hiring mercenaries or specialist forces? Our military is compromised. Our government is compromised. Our communities are terrorized. Nigeria is in a state of anarchy. The government is incompetent and cannot solve this problem that we're faced with right now. Shettima, who was accused of, aiding and abetting terrorism, our vice president. Our soldiers are every day they are ambushed and they're killed. Even their barracks invaded. Brigadier General was killed recently, wasn't he? So why can't Bola Tinubu employ specialist forces who can deal with this terrorism all over the country? Why? It costs them less, it costs the government less, it costs the people less in paying money for ransom, and we can travel our roads and be safe. But what is stopping Tinubu from doing it? Again, I ask this question. Is Tinubu compromised? What deal did Tinubu make with the Northerners or with the people that suggested to him to use Shettima as his VP? What deal did he make? We said it before, our soldiers are compromised. Our military is compromised. When the government goes to get terrorists and call them repentant bandits and put them in our military, what do you think will happen? What do you think is going to happen? This is exactly what is going to be the result. They will feed the terrorists with information, and then the people will be terrorized. And guess what? More Nigerians will be killed. And that's exactly what is going on in Nigeria. If you've been following this channel for a while, at least from the very early part of this year, you will realize I've been talking about Nigeria hiring mercenaries for so long. Russia is using it. The US have used it. The French have used it. So why can't we use it? The government is so incompetent and they cannot do the job. Why can't we hire people who can do the job, who are well equipped to do the job, and relieve the stress on our military and use them to do other parts? Why? Is there nobody in the government that can think outside the box? Have we not lost so many Nigerians for no reason? Children have been burnt alive. Children have been kidnapped from their schools, taken into the bushes and become wives to these people. What is going on with this government? You have to agree with Buba Galadima. Compare Jonathan to Buhari. Jonathan is a saint 100%. If you put the same situation that happened in 2015, where during the election, there was that hint that there was going to be a terror attack and Jonathan called off the election for 6 weeks. I remember that and Nigeria went ablaze. Everyone screamed that they wanted to seize government. They didn't want to do the election just to protect the people from dying. Don't forget, it was still the same Jonathan that said, his political ambition is not worth the blood of a single Nigerian. But it was Bola Tinubu that said, snatch it, grab it, and run with it. Meaning that steal the election, and that's what they did in 2023 anyway. When you compare these two side by side, you realize why we're in the wrong hands right now. But again, the key question still remains the same. Why can't we hire foreign mercenaries? Why? Why? Must more Nigerians be killed for political gains? Because it's not ordinary Nigerians that are benefiting from this. It's our politicians. These are the people in the military, people in the armed forces, people in the defense department, people who are benefiting from the contracts that are being given to fight this insecurity, but they're not solving the problem. So why can't we go get specialist forces from outside, give them a timeline? You've got 2 months to find these bandits, eliminate them. See, we have to stop telling ourselves a lie. Nigeria is a religious country. I agree with it. So also is Israel, but they're defending themselves. We're tired of mourning Nigerians at home. Do you know how many families have been wiped out from the face of the earth for no just cause? Because somebody wants to seize their land. Somebody feels he has a right for them not to leave. And then we have a government that is so incompetent, a government without character and cannot do anything. Remember when that, I think was it Yawata one, was the Benue one of the just one when it happened. Tinubu was in France for 19 days. Nigerians were kidnapped and killed. They were burnt alive while they slept. And the president did nothing. For one life, most nations will close down the entire border and fish out the people that did it. For many Nigerians burnt alive, some of them cannot be recognized at all. The president did nothing. So again, I ask you, mustn't Nigerians start protecting themselves, seeing that the government has failed in doing its basic responsibility, defending and protecting the lives and properties of its own people? Or don't we have rights as Nigerians anymore? Don't we have the right to live and live in peace in our communities? What is taking Tinubu so long? 2 years and 2 years and counting. More than 10,000 Nigerians have been killed in a country that is not at war. Would you call that genocide? Isn't it even genocidal that the government is not doing anything to solve the problem? You see that? Kidnapping has become a big business in our country. aided and abetted by our government because they refuse to do the right thing. So is it not about time that this government goes out and get the right people, mercenaries, to do the job, knowing the fact that our military is compromised, knowing the fact that our government is compromised? Is it not time? The villagers have told you they know who the people are, but our military is compromised. Wouldn't the mercenary find them out? Because they have no stake. All they have at stake is the pay they get and they go. So you give them a timeline, give them different regions to go and monitor and get the job done, and move them to another part and quiet this noise. In 6 months, we will quiet all this insurgency and terrorism in Nigeria. In 6 months, I can guarantee you that if the government is willing to do that. If Jonathan can do that in 6 weeks, Tinubu can do this in 6 months because they have the intelligence and they know where these people are. It's a case of speaking to the villagers and the communities. They will tell you where they are in the deepest part of the bushes. It doesn't matter. If you speak to Sheikh Gumi, who's also a supporter of the same people, he will tell you that where they are. If not, you put him in jail. It's about time we come out hard. If not, there will be no peace. And nobody wants to bury their loved ones. Why? Because of this terrorism. Again, I ask you this simple question. Is Tinubu compromised? Is our government fully compromised? What agreement did they make? Why can't they fix this problem? Is the solution to hire mercenaries now? Because as we know it to be right now, if Tinubu cannot fix this problem in 2 years, since it's been there since 2023, do you think he'll be able to fix it at all? And if Jonathan did it before, why can't he do it now? What is stopping it? What is stopping this government? I want your opinion. I want your honest opinion on this. I want your honest response to this. What do you think the solution is right now? Should we go the way of mercenaries, hiring specialist forces? Or do we still keep going on the way we're going? Should Nigerians start to protect themselves right now, knowing that the government cannot do it? What is your take? Put that in the comment section. And please remember to recommend this channel, like this video, like this channel, support us by subscribing if you've not done so. You help us promote this channel. And don't forget, Nigeria belongs to all of us. So we do well to make sure we call out our government. Again, I'll catch you in the next video as always. God bless you. Bye-bye for now.